we have it on the radio app. You can also switch it onto the media app and connect any media device you choose via USB, Bluetooth, SD card reader. Also your heated seat and ventilated seats and heated steering wheel buttons there. We have your dual zone climate controls here, also your navigation page as well. Really nice and easy to use there. Also you can link up your phone, and then we do have the completely customizable app screen here as well. Has lots of good information on here. Again, some of your heated seat buttons. We also have iHeartRadio. And then you can page over and we have Pandora here. We have your Sirius travel link system. On the next page here, we see that we also have a Wi-Fi hotspot. And then back we have this off-road pages here. So this has a lot of cool information on it. Information for your drivetrain here. Also, you can look at all of your accessory gauges, your coolant temp, your battery voltage. And then here you can see you have your geographical location on here as well as your altitude. And then we have your select terrain system. You can switch it through depending on what terrain you're going to be driving in. We have mud, we also have auto, sand, and snow as well, which is great if you live in Minnesota like I do. Below that we have different hard buttons for the radio, also your dual zone climate controls again. You can turn off your parking sensors. We have your auto on-off button. You can also turn off your eco mode, you can turn on your sport mode, and you can turn off your traction control as well. Under here we have some USB and auxiliary ports, also an SD card reader and another power outlet there. This is an automatic transmission, but you can switch it into sport mode if you'd like, and paddle shift with the paddle shifters up on the steering wheel. And then here is the rotor dial here for your select terrain system, also your four-wheel drive button and your hill descent controller as well. And then in the center console we have another USB port, and also your Blu-ray and DVD player is in there as well. Coming up to the steering wheel on the right-hand side, we have your cruise control buttons. Also on the left-hand side we have your Bluetooth and voice controller, and then on the back of the steering wheel we have some buttons here to control the radio volume, stuff like that. Also here are the paddle shifters if you'd like to manually shift. And then up on the dashboard we have your digital information display, and it has lots of good information on it. Right now it's on the digital speedometer, and then you can scroll through and look at different vehicle information such as your tire pressure, your transmission temperature, your oil temp. Lots of good information on there. Also, you can look at your drive terrain options, your fuel economy, different trip information, any messages that you have stored, and screen setup and stuff like that. Lots of good info up there.
So in rock mode, you have a locked ELSD, which means you have torque split evenly across the axle. And then we have different slip thresholds. When you're doing rocks, you want to go slow, you want to have ultimate control. You don't want to have any wheel slip, so we come in a lot faster to maintain traction. We stay in gear a lot longer. In rock mode, you get a little slower throttle response, so you're not constantly overshooting for torque from the engine.
When you're climbing a steep hill or even down a steep hill, we want having a technology to help the driver out. So we'd have a speed select button, and you can set your speed on the dash using the paddle shifters.
The upshift on the paddles to increase the speed, and you can use the downshift to decrease your speed.
It tells the engine and the brakes to maintain speed as it best can and to provide the most amount of grip over every situation.
The nice thing about select speed control is it takes a lot of the stress out of driving because it controls your speed for you, so you can concentrate on your line.
When you're out here off-roading, you always want to make sure your vehicle is well protected, and that's why we at Jeep make sure every vehicle is equipped with skid plates. Heavy duty steel is outfitted underneath the vehicles. So we've got skid plates under the transfer case, the oil pan, the fuel tank, and then we've got rock rails under the doors to really give us total body protection under here. So sounds a little rough when you do it the first couple of times, but that's what they're there for.
The idea behind the limited slip is that you're able to transfer the engine torque to both sides. So when you're going around a corner just driving normally, we allow it to be an open differential. We want that difference in wheel speed. But when you are rock crawling and you want power, if one side is low traction, one side is high traction, we can send all the power to the high traction just like a locker. And we can have anywhere in between. So if we just want to put a little bit of power, as much as we can, on one side, we can put the rest of it on the other side. At all times, get the maximum traction out of the vehicle. Having an active system is like having the best of both worlds. With these adaptive systems we have on the car, we can easily go to sand mode. It loosens up our stability control. It takes away all engine management, so you can really build up the engine RPMs and build up the speed. Throttle calibration, so that's so you can make throttle changes a lot quicker than you would want to make on rock. You go to sports shifting with the transmission, shifts happen quicker and they happen on a totally different shift map, so we hold the gears a little bit longer so you can maintain the momentum. I can't think of, any other car out there that opens up a world like this. We can easily go to sand mode. It loosens up our stability control. It takes away all engine management, so you can really build up the engine RPMs. And I mean, momentum is key with sand. What our active system is able to do with the ELSD is we can vary the torque across the sides. In sand mode, we don't do any engine management. So if you start to slide out, we can help you kick you back in with our brake system, but we don't take away the engine power, which means that you don't get bogged down and you don't get stuck out in the sand.
The great thing about Moab is these obstacles are just constant and relentless. It's one right after the other.